Over 100 battles, never defeated. Khalid ibn al-Waleed is one of the rare military commanders in history who fought in more than 100 battles and never lost a single one. His battles included major wars against the two superpowers of his time, the Byzantine Empire and the Persian Empire, as well as internal conflicts within the Arabian Peninsula. Like and subscribe for more interesting history story like that. Comment your thought below. Let's dive into the thrilling adventure. Why this is remarkable. 1. Most great military leaders in history, such as Napoleon, Alexander the Great, and Julius Caesar, faced at least one defeat. 2. Khalid, however, remained undefeated despite facing larger, better equipped, and more experienced armies. 3. He fought on different terrains, from deserts to mountains, adapting to every situation with unmatched skill. Major wars he won. 1. Against the Quraysh, pre-Islamic Arabia, initially fought against the Muslims but later converted to Islam and became their greatest general. 2. Against the Persian Empire, 633 to 634 AD, led a series of crushing victories, including the Battle of Ulais, the River of Blood, where thousands of Persian soldiers were killed. 3. Against the Byzantine Empire, 634 to 636 AD, defeated the Byzantines in multiple battles, most famously at Yarmouk, 636 AD, which sealed Muslim control over Syria. 4. Against apostates and rebels, Ridda Wars, 632 AD, after Prophet Muhammad's death, many Arabian tribes rebelled. 4. Khalid crushed these revolts, uniting Arabia under Islam. How did he stay undefeated? 3. Fearless leadership. He always fought on the front lines, inspiring his soldiers with his bravery. Despite fighting the greatest empires of his era, Khalid never suffered a defeat, a feat unmatched in military history. Earned the title Sword of Allah. Khalid ibn al-Waleed was given the honorary title Saifullah, Sword of Allah, by Prophet Muhammad for his unmatched military skill, bravery, and dedication to Islam. This title symbolized that he was a warrior chosen by Allah to defend and spread Islam through his military genius. When and why was he given this title? 1. During the Battle of Mu'tah, 629 AD, the Muslim army faced an overwhelming 200,000 Byzantine soldiers with only 3,000 Muslim fighters. 2. The original commanders Zayd ibn Haritha, Jafar ibn Abi Talib, and Abdullah ibn Rawaha were all martyred. 3. Khalid took command in the most difficult situation and executed a brilliant strategic retreat, saving the army from complete destruction. 4. When he returned, Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, said, "Khalid is one of the swords of Allah, drawn against the disbelievers." 5. From that day forward, Khalid became known as Saifullah, Sword of Allah. What this title meant for him. 1. He fought every battle with the belief that he was carrying out Allah's will, giving him unshakable confidence in battle. His ultimate loyalty to Islam. This title made him one of the most legendary and respected generals in Islamic and world history. Tactical genius and master of warfare. Khalid ibn al-Waleed was a military genius who mastered strategy, battlefield tactics, and psychological warfare. Key strategies that made him undefeated. 1. Rapid mobility and speed attacks. 1. Khalid's cavalry moved faster than any other army of his time. 2. He could cover huge distances in record time, surprising his enemies. 3. Example, Desert March to Syria, 633 AD, he led his army through the deadly desert in just 18 days, attacking the Byzantine forces when they least expected it. 2. Divide and conquer tactics. 1. He would split enemy armies into smaller groups and defeat them one by one. 2. Example, Battle of Yarmouk, 636 AD, he tricked the Byzantines into fighting in a narrow valley, forcing them into chaos before launching his final attack. 3. Feigned retreat and ambush. 1. Khalid often pretended to retreat, luring enemies into a trap. 2. Example, Battle of Ulais, 633 AD, he retreated strategically, making the Persians think they were winning. 2. Then, he launched a counterattack, killing thousands. 4. Psychological warfare. 2. Example, Battle of Faraz, 634 AD, against the Persians, Byzantines and Christian Arabs. He used fake campfires and multiple attack points to confuse and scare the enemy. 5. Perfect use of terrain. 2. Example, Battle of Yarmouk, 636 AD, he positioned his troops near a deep ravine, forcing the Byzantines into a corner where they had no escape. Why was Khalid so unique? He could change battle plans instantly based on the enemy's movements. He used small armies to defeat massive superpowers like Byzantines and Persians. He had an unmatched ability to predict enemy weaknesses and exploit them. Khalid ibn al-Waleed wasn't just a warrior, he was a military mastermind whose tactics are still studied in modern warfare today. The turning point, Battle of Mu'tah, 629 AD. The Battle of Mu'tah was one of the most significant battles in early Islamic history, where Khalid ibn al-Waleed proved his military genius and earned the title Sword of Allah. Background of the battle: the crisis, 3 commanders martyred. The Muslim army had 3 appointed leaders. 1. Zayd ibn Haritha, martyred while leading the charge. 2. Jafar ibn Abi Talib, fought bravely but was killed after both arms were cut off. 3. Abdullah ibn Rawaha, tried to rally the troops but was also martyred. With all 3 leaders dead, the Muslim army was on the verge of collapse. Khalid ibn al-Waleed takes command. 1. The Muslim soldiers were in shock and disarray, but Khalid took control and reorganized the troops. 2. He changed battle formations multiple times during the night, confusing the Byzantines into thinking reinforcements had arrived. 3. The next day, he launched a strategic retreat, keeping the Byzantines engaged while saving thousands of Muslim lives. Why was this battle a turning point? Saved the Muslim army from total destruction. Proved his leadership in a crisis. Earned the title Sword of Allah from Prophet Muhammad, PBUH. Showed his brilliance in defensive warfare and tactical retreats. Conquered Persia and Byzantium's strongholds. His brilliant military strategies helped expand the Islamic Empire at an unprecedented speed. Conquering the Persian Empire, 633 to 634 AD. The Sassanid Persians were one of the most powerful empires, ruling modern-day Iran and Iraq. Khalid led a series of stunning victories against them. Key battles against Persia: 1. Battle of Chains, 633 AD, the beginning of the end for Persia. 1. The Persian army tied their soldiers together with chains so they wouldn't retreat. 2. Khalid used fast cavalry charges to break their formation. 3. The Persians collapsed, and Khalid won his first major victory against the empire. 2. Battle of Ulais, 633 AD, the River of Blood. 1. The Persian army regrouped and fought to the death. 2. Khalid surrounded them and blocked their escape routes. 3. After victory, so many Persians were killed that the Euphrates River turned red with blood. 3. Conquest of Al-Hira, 633 AD, Persian stronghold falls. 1. Al-Hira was a major Persian city, but Khalid used psychological warfare to make them surrender without a fight. 2. The Persians feared his reputation and handed over the city. 3. This victory opened the gates of Iraq for Muslim expansion. Defeating the Byzantine Empire, 634 to 636 AD. Khalid's lightning-fast conquests shattered their defenses. Key battles against Byzantium: 1. Battle of Ajnadin, 634 AD, Byzantine's first major defeat. 1. The Byzantine army had 90,000 soldiers, while Khalid had only 30,000. 2. Using fake retreats and ambushes, Khalid completely destroyed the Byzantine forces. 3. This was the first major Muslim victory against Byzantium. 2. The Desert March to Syria, 634 AD, a tactical masterpiece. 1. Khalid led his army across the deadly Syrian desert in 18 days with no water sources. 2. He attacked Damascus from an unexpected direction, taking the Byzantines by surprise. 3. His army captured multiple cities in Syria within a few months. 3. Battle of Yarmouk, 636 AD, Byzantium's greatest defeat. 1. The Byzantines sent 200,000 soldiers against Khalid's 40,000 Muslim fighters. 2. Khalid used terrain and wind's direction to trap the Byzantines. 3. After 6 days of battle, the Byzantines were crushed, and their control over Syria collapsed. 4. This battle marked the permanent loss of Syria for the Byzantines. Why were these conquests so important? The Persian Empire collapsed completely within 10 years of Khalid's campaigns. The Byzantine Empire lost its hold over the Middle East, never fully recovering. Islam spread rapidly, shaping the history of the region forever. Master of psychological warfare, his strategies caused even powerful armies like the Byzantines and Persians to surrender or fight with low morale. 1. Spreading fear before the battle. Khalid's reputation alone was enough to strike fear into his enemies. Many cities surrendered without a fight just because they heard he was coming. Example: the city of Al-Hira, 633 AD, Persian soldiers surrendered out of fear. 1. After Khalid's crushing victories over the Persians, the people of Al-Hira panicked. 2. Without fighting, they sent envoys to negotiate peace, offering tribute instead of war. 3. Khalid captured one of the strongest Persian cities without losing a single soldier. 2. Deception and fake reinforcements. Khalid tricked his enemies into thinking his army was much larger than it actually was. Example: Battle of Yarmouk, 636 AD, making the Byzantines panic. 1. Khalid divided his army into smaller groups, ordering them to enter and exit battle zones repeatedly. 2. The Byzantine scouts saw new waves of troops arriving, thinking Khalid had endless reinforcements. 3. The Byzantine army lost morale, believing they were heavily outnumbered. 4. This played a major role in their eventual defeat. 3. Using psychological pressure on enemy leaders, Khalid personally sent letters to enemy generals, threatening them in a way that made many surrender without a fight. Example: letter to the Persian commander Hormuz, Battle of Chains, 633 AD. Khalid sent a message saying, 2. This terrified the Persian army, making them doubt their chances even before the battle began. 4. Pretending to retreat and setting traps. One of his favorite tactics was to fake a retreat to lure the enemy into an ambush. Example: Battle of Ulais, 633 AD, Persian army walks into a trap. 1. Khalid pretended to retreat, making the Persians think they had won. 2. The Persian army chased after him, breaking their formation. 3. Suddenly, Khalid's troops turned around and launched a surprise counterattack. 4. The Persian army was slaughtered, and the battle was won in hours. 5. Breaking the enemy's will to fight. Example, Battle of Faraz, 634 AD, the enemy surrenders without a fight. 1. Khalid faced a massive alliance of Byzantines, Persians, and Christian Arabs. 2. Before the battle, Khalid executed war prisoners in front of the enemy army, showing them what would happen if they resisted. 3. The enemy troops panicked and many fled, leading to an easy victory. Why was psychological warfare important? It reduced casualties, as many enemies surrendered without fighting. It lowered the morale of enemy forces, making them easier to defeat. It gave Khalid a legendary reputation, making future conquests easier. The legendary Desert March, a feat of endurance and strategy. Khalid ibn al-Waleed's desert march to Syria in 633 AD is considered one of the most remarkable military maneuvers in history. Why was this march so important? 1. At the time, the Muslim army in Syria was struggling against the Byzantines. 2. Khalid was in Iraq, having just defeated the Persians. 3. Instead of taking the long and safer route, he chose a shorter but extremely dangerous path through the deadly desert to reach Syria faster. 4. This march allowed Khalid to attack from an unexpected direction, shocking the Byzantines. The impossible journey through the desert, extreme heat and no water. 1. The desert was so harsh that even camels could die from thirst within days. 2. The army faced scorching temperatures, but Khalid had a plan. Water camels strategy. 1. Khalid prepared his camels by making them drink massive amounts of water. 2. Before the march, he tied their mouths shut so they wouldn't lose water through breathing. 3. During the march, when soldiers needed water, they cut open the camels and drank directly from their stomachs. 18 days of non-stop marching. 1. Khalid kept his army moving day and night to avoid exhaustion from the sun. 2. Despite the harsh conditions, his troops survived with minimal losses. A surprise attack on Damascus. 1. The Byzantines never expected an army to cross the desert. 2. Khalid suddenly appeared at Damascus, attacking before they could react. 3. His army crushed the Byzantine forces, capturing multiple cities in Syria within months. Why was this desert march legendary? It is one of the greatest military endurance feats in history. It allowed Khalid to launch a surprise attack on Byzantium, winning crucial battles. No other army had ever crossed this desert before at such speed. Even today, military experts study Khalid's brilliant tactics and extreme endurance in this march. The Battle of Yarmouk, 636 AD, Byzantium's greatest defeat. The Battle of Yarmouk was Khalid ibn al-Waleed's greatest victory and one of the most decisive battles in history. Facing 200,000 Byzantine troops with only 40,000 Muslim soldiers, Khalid's strategy led to a historic defeat for the Byzantine Empire, securing Muslim control over Syria. Key tactics that won the battle: divided the Byzantine army. Khalid used his cavalry to isolate enemy divisions, preventing them from coordinating attacks. Used terrain to his advantage. He positioned his troops near ravines, forcing the Byzantines into tight spaces where they had no escape. Psychological warfare. Khalid made the Byzantines think they were being reinforced by continuously rotating troops to appear endless. Final charge en route. After 6 days of battle, he launched an all-out cavalry charge, pushing the Byzantines into the ravines, wiping out their army. Why was Yarmouk so important? The Byzantine Empire lost Syria permanently. It marked the beginning of Islamic expansion into the Levant. One of history's greatest underdog victories. Unmatched leadership and unwavering loyalty. Khalid ibn al-Waleed was not just a brilliant commander, he was also a loyal warrior who prioritized Islam over personal power. Despite his unmatched success, he remained humble and obedient to leadership. His leadership qualities: adaptable tactician, he could change battle plans instantly to counter enemy strategies. Led from the front, unlike many generals, Khalid fought alongside his soldiers, boosting morale. His loyalty to Islam and the caliphs. 1. After countless victories, Caliph Umar removed him as commander to prevent hero worship. 2. Instead of rebelling, Khalid humbly accepted the decision and continued fighting as a regular soldier. 3. He proved his loyalty was to Islam, not personal glory. Why his leadership was unique. Never lost a battle in over 100 fights. Respected by allies and feared by enemies. A leader who put faith over fame. His death and everlasting legacy. Despite surviving over 100 battles, Khalid ibn al-Waleed died not on the battlefield, but in his bed in 642 AD. Before passing, he famously said, "His everlasting legacy, never lost a battle, a record unmatched in military history." Earned the title Sword of Allah from Prophet Muhammad. His tactics are still studied by military strategists today. Khalid ibn al-Waleed remains one of history's greatest military commanders, proving that true greatness comes from faith, intelligence, strategy, bravery and courage. Like and subscribe for more interesting history story like that. Comment your thought below. Thank you for watching.